For Activity 1A, we're going to open the software and we're going to work with the files that were provided by the textbook publisher. You'll find the zipped folder containing all of the files and folders within the course canvas, and you'll have to download those and unzip them. Once you've done that, we'll be using them all semester, so be sure to put them in a spot that you remember where to find them or you can easily locate them. So with the software open, we'll start by clicking on the application menu, the C in the upper left-hand corner, and we'll choose to open a file. We're going to choose to open a drawing, and then once we get the open drawing dialog box, we want to make sure that we're opening that folder that we downloaded and unzipped. The name of the folder is Civil 3D 2023 Fundamentals Exercise Files. We'll open that. With that open, there's another folder, Civil 3D Essentials. We'll open that folder. And within that folder, there's yet another folder, Working. We're going to select the Working folder, double-click on it to select it, and then in the upper right-hand corner of that application menu where you have the word Tools, we're going to click the down arrow for Tools, and we're going to choose the option to add the current folder to Places. And that ensures that the folder will appear every time we go to open a file. It'll be right above the History in our Applications menu. Once we've done that, we'll go up a folder level to the References folder. And then within the References folder, we're going to go to the DWG folder. That's our drawing file folder. Well, there's drawing files in other folders, but DWG is the standard file extension for drawings. So we'll locate the file Introduction, and we'll double click on it to open it up. And the first thing you might notice is that it is a very busy file. So there's quite a bit going on here. Don't be intimidated by it. We'll be working on this project all semester. What you're looking at is a subdivision with a school. There's some road work. There's some piping networks. All of those oddly shaped, closely spaced salmon and green lines are contour lines that show how the surface elevations vary across the site. You'll notice in the lower right-hand corner, we have a pop-up that tells us that we have unreconciled new layers. And basically the message here is that new layers were found that need to be reconciled. We'll click on the link below that message to view the unreconciled layers in the Layer Properties Manager. The Layer Properties Manager will open. I'm going to drag it and drop it right in the center of my screen, and you'll see there are many layers. So this is one way, if you're familiar with AutoCAD 2D, this is one way in which Civil 3D varies quite a bit. In Civil 3D, as we create new drawing objects, they're automatically added to an appropriate layer. So the layers are created as the drawing objects are found. It's part of the software, and we don't really spend much time worrying about what layer we're working with. Whereas with AutoCAD 2D, you might have had to do that. So with our layer properties, we're looking at all of these layers. We're going to click on the gear in the upper right-hand corner. Those are our layer settings. And we're going to look specifically for the new layer notification. And we're going to uncheck it. So what that does is it will prevent the software from giving us that pop-up notification every time a new layer is added. And we will find that as we create drawing objects, new layers are added, and it happens quite frequently. So with that change made, new layer notification unchecked, I'll click OK. And I'll close the layer settings. And then I'm going to close the layer properties dialog box by clicking the X in the upper left-hand corner. Now, in the upper left-hand corner, alongside the C, the application menu, you'll see another gear. There's a gear and Civil 3D. If we click the down arrow at the right of the word Civil 3D, you'll see there's options for toggling from one workspace to another. We will work in Civil 3D throughout the semester, but if you were to work in 2D, you could switch to drafting and annotation, and that would give you AutoCAD 2D. The next thing we'll do is we'll look at our Quick Access toolbar up here. The Quick Access toolbar gives us the option, in this case, to print, to save, to undo, to redo. Basically, you can very quickly print or save or undo from that Quick Access toolbar. Next thing we'll do is we'll click on the Insert tab, and then we'll click the down arrow where it says Import to expand those options, and you'll see there are options for importing from a building site, importing geographical information systems data, importing HEC information, and you'll see there's a little pin. We can click on the pin to pin that. When we pin that, basically we're designating it as being visible at all times, typically because it's something we're going to use quite a bit. So we can pin the expanded options by clicking on the pin, and we can unpin them by clicking on it, and then it will collapse and close up when we move our cursor off of it. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to click on the Home tab to access the Home ribbon. In the Home ribbon, at far left, you'll see an icon labeled Tool Space. It has the hammer and the wrench. The Tool Space is the options that appear in the column at left. If I click it on, it disappears. If I click it again, it comes back. We will spend quite a bit of time. We'll be working on the Tool Space almost all the time. So in the Tool Space, you'll notice we have multiple tabs. Up at the top, we have a drawing, name, introduction. Of course, that's what we opened it as. And we can save the drawing. We can rename it. And that's what we'll do. We'll click on the C. We'll choose a Save As. We're going to save it as a drawing, and we're going to name it. And they have us naming it Intro-A1. And once we've done that, we'll click Save. And now you'll notice at the top of our tool space, we no longer see Introduction. We see the name we just saved this drawing as. It is Intro A1. So in the upper left-hand corner of our drawing space, you will see some symbols. It could be a hyphen or a minus symbol in brackets. Basically, that is our viewport control. If we click that, we have the option to restore viewports. We can look at the viewport configuration list. We can view the navigation bar, the view cube. We have some options there, and we can actually have custom named views. So we'll go to viewport configuration. From the viewport configuration options, we're going to go to custom viewport configurations, and you'll see that we have a plan profile view. We'll select that, and we'll click on it, and it immediately applies that particular configuration. And so we are looking at the very same drawing we were looking at a few moments ago, but now we have two viewports. One viewport shows us the topographical view of the portion of our drawing that shows Jeffries Ranch Road, and the top viewport shows the profile information, or the think of it as showing almost a cross section that shows how the elevations vary along the length of Jeffries Ranch Road. So the view at the bottom is the top view. The view in the viewport up top is showing how that profile or how that road varies. The view with the red dashed lines is the existing ungraded or unmodified site, and the blue is the planned finished elevations for Jeffries Ranch Road. Now, it's the drawing. The viewport was created from Jeffries Ranch Road, and the data that's associated with elevations along that road, and it's a dynamic view. Our profile view is linked to the surface data and the design of Jeffries Ranch Road. If we make a modification to Jeffries Ranch Road, we'll find that the profile view will be automatically updated if we make that change. So what they have us do is they have us select Jeffries Ranch Road. Going to select the Jeffries Ranch Road alignment, selecting the line that runs down the center. Have to be careful to make sure that you're selecting the line and you're not getting the corridor. The corridor is the magenta lines, the line that runs down the center of the road defines Jeffries Ranch Road. With that selected, I'm going to select the grip at the end, that turquoise square, and I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drag it. So I'm going to relocate it. I'm going to stretch Jeffries Ranch Road. So I moved it to the north end, to the east, and right away you'll see I have a message here, my roadway, the target object. Let's expand this. My target object not found. It shows an offset and elevation. I have warnings because I've made some changes, and you'll see all along my profile view now I have warnings telling me that it needs to be updated. It might be out of sync, and that is because the plan view or the topographical view is in sync or dynamic with the profile view. So changes made in one will affect the other, and you'll immediately get that warning and be prompted to update the profile view. So, or simply type regen at the command prompt, and that will automatically update and sync. I'm going to select the whole profile view. I'll repeat the regen. And now I'm going to select that grip, and I'm going to restore this to the original position as best I can. All right, having restored it as best I can, at this point, I'm going to restore it to the single viewport. And so basically, I can go click on the plus in the upper left-hand corner of my model space to get into my viewport configuration options. I can go to the single viewport. That restores it to the simple model view. Anytime I want to go back, I simply click on the minus, go to my viewport configuration. I can go into all of the generic options and then any that were custom created. And of course, I can get to the different view options from the View tab as well, where I have my View Manager. So that is Practice Activity 1A. You'll save that file, and then you'll submit it to the assignment link as an e-transmit package.